A lot of people don't stay because they're in love. They stay because starting over sounds exhausting. And honestly, that's not even dramatic anymore. It's weirdly normal. You go on enough dates, answer enough, so what are you looking for questions, sit through enough conversations where both people are pretending to be cooler than they actually are, and eventually your brain starts treating dating less like romance and more like customer service. You start wanting relief more than connection. So someone comes along and they're nice, consistent, easy enough to be around. Your friends approve, your mom likes them, they text back in reasonable time frames, and part of you goes, honestly, maybe this is good enough. Not because you're deeply excited, just because you're tired. Tired of restarting, tired of opening up, tired of downloading the apps again like you're reinstalling emotional homework. So instead of asking, am I actually alive around this person? Yeah, you start asking, could this technically work long term? And those are very different questions. That's where people get stuck for years. Because a relationship doesn't have to be toxic to be wrong. Sometimes it's just flat. You're sitting across from someone at dinner and they're talking about their day and you're nodding and smiling and participating, but internally it kind of feels like you're attending a meeting that could have been an email. Okay, not terrible, just not alive. But instead of listening to that feeling, people start making logic lists, literally evaluating a relationship like they're shopping for a mid sized SUV. Pro, stable. Pro, emotionally available. Con, I feel absolutely nothing when they touch my arm. And because the person hasn't technically done anything wrong, leaving starts to feel irrational, ungrateful even, so people stay. Not because their heart is fully in it, because the relationship makes sense on paper. That's the dangerous part about loneliness. After a while, compatibility starts getting confused with relief. You're not excited to see them, you're excited to not have to search anymore. And your brain will fight hard to protect that comfort. It'll tell you things like, nobody's perfect. Maybe this is what mature love feels like. Maybe butterflies are immature. Hmm. Meanwhile, your body is sitting there like, no, I actually think we're just bored. And look, not every healthy relationship is fireworks. Real love usually gets calmer over time. But calm and emotionally absent are not the same thing. One feels peaceful, the other feels like you're slowly disappearing inside politeness. That's usually when the strange little behaviors start showing up. You take slightly longer to answer their texts, even though you answer your other friends instantly. You stop sharing random thoughts during the day. You start feeling relieved when plans get canceled. You sit in the car for an extra minute before going inside because part of you already knows you're about to perform warmth instead of naturally feeling it. And the weirdest part, we think we're being nice by staying. But nobody actually wants to be tolerated politely. It's exhausting for you to perform it and confusing for them to receive it. It turns into this quiet standoff where both people can feel something's missing, but nobody wants to be the first one to ruin the good relationship. So everyone just keeps acting normal. That's why honesty feels so terrifying. Because honesty changes things. Once you admit, I don't think I'm fully here anymore, you can't really unhear it. But honestly, that moment is usually less tragic than people expect. It's relief. Like finally exhaling after trying to force yourself into a life that technically worked but emotionally didn't fit. And sometimes the relationship ending isn't failure. Sometimes it's just making room for both people, for honesty, for relationships where nobody has to constantly convince themselves to stay. That's the thing people don't talk about enough. Real connection usually feels lighter than performance. You don't spend the whole relationship trying to calculate whether your feelings are correct. You don't feel like you're managing a role. You don't have to rehearse enthusiasm. You actually want to tell them things. You want them around. Even boring moments feel easy. You can sit in silence without feeling trapped inside it. And yeah, chemistry matters too, attraction matters, but real connection is usually less about intensity and more about ease. It feels breathable, like your nervous system finally stopped trying so hard. That's why the healthiest relationships often look almost boring from the outside. Not because there's no love there, because nobody's performing for survival anymore. Nobody's trying to earn basic affection. Nobody's carefully editing themselves into the ideal partner. They're just there, fully. And honestly, I think that's what most people are actually searching for underneath all this dating strategies and overthinking and emotional chess matches. Not perfection, not endless butterflies. Just someone who makes life feel simpler to participate in. Someone you don't have to keep talking yourself into. Because real love probably starts the moment two people stop trying so hard to protect themselves from it.